The Leecliff Hall, built by Fairfield Shipbuilding and Engineering Company of Glasgow, Scotland. The hall was launched on May 8th of 1961, and she would actually be the largest dry cargo ship built in the United Kingdom as well up until that time. The Hall was the brand new flagship of the Hall Corporation fleet, and she sailed from Montreal on September 25th of 1961, and this would be her maiden voyage of the Great Lakes. As the Hall began her career on the Great Lakes, she would actually dominate a cargo hauling record of over 1,030,979 bushels of mixed grain cargo, and this would be to the Bunge elevator at Quebec City on her first downbound trip. Among her other cargo, the Hall would carry iron ore pellets as well across the Great Lakes, and she would always consistently be known for setting record cargo loads. The Hall had a length of 730 feet. She had a width of 75 and a depth of 35. She also had a gross tonnage of 18,071 tons. Being an impressive 730-footer freighter on the Great Lakes, would actually, sadly and tragically, only have about 3 years of service on the Great Lakes, and her short career would come to an end on September 5th of 1964. On September 5th, 1964, the Leecliff Hall was upbound on the St. Lawrence River with a cargo of iron ore. It is said that day that she was also surrounded by a thick, heavy fog, and this would be a contributing factor to the horrible and deadly collision that was soon to happen. As the Hall was making her way up on the St. Lawrence River, the Greek freighter Apollonia emerged. There was simply not enough time for the ships to avoid each other, and they collided, causing a deadly crash. Sometime after the collision of the Hall and the Apollonia, all of the crew, except for one, however, made it off the ship, along with the passengers, which on that day was actually the president of Hall Corporation, Frank A. Augsbury, and his wife, Lee, along with their children. Even though the Leecliff Hall was sinking, she actually remained afloat for about 4 hours. So, noticing this, 2 more crew members actually returned to her. The 2 crew members that returned to the Leecliff Hall were trying their best to beach her. However, this would fail, and she would break in half and sink in 90 feet of water, and tragically taking these 2 other crew members down with her. After the Hall came to settle at the bottom of the St. Lawrence River, all that was visible of her afterwards were the masts, and this was at low tide. She sank in a deeper part of the St. Lawrence River, about 7 miles from the initial crash site. Salvage attempts would be considered almost immediately, and then they would be attempted on the Leecliff Hall after the terrible accident. However, they would fail. The Leecliff Hall was just too severely damaged where she was resting on the bottom of the St. Lawrence River. The Leecliff Hall now posed a significant hazard to other ships trying to navigate the St. Lawrence. It was finally decided that her wreckage would be dynamited, and this would happen on September 12, 1966. She was declared a total loss. It's very sad that this magnificent vessel only served 3 years on the Great Lakes, but even more tragic is the 3 lives that would be lost on her deadly collision that day. It's also worth mentioning here that the owner of the Leecliff Hall had actually, on the previous day before this terrible accident occurred, would have celebrated his 40th birthday. His family and guests were on the Leecliff Hall for just a simple pleasure cruise. And that is the full story of the tragic collision of the Leecliff Hall with the Apollonia on the St. Lawrence River. Well, as of the recording of this video, this collision happened 60 years ago. And wow, what an eerie feeling, especially that we are coming up on the 50th anniversary of the Edmund Fitzgerald sinking on Lake Superior. I mean, this Leecliff Hall was a massive ship herself, and I had never heard of her or this terrible collision and her sinking. And yeah, she sank in 90 feet of water, and then, yeah, no wonder she had to be dynamited out of there. I mean, her wreck was just, there was no saving that. There was no salvaging it. And yeah, I was really amazed by this, and I'm glad I came across it, and I'm very glad that I could bring this story and those poor 3 men who lost their lives on this vessel and in this terrible accident to light, and to give them some respect, and may their names never be forgotten. But yeah, you always learn something new. You always, especially with these collisions and heavy fog, I didn't think that in 1964 there would be collisions like this happening of these vessels on the Great Lakes or on these rivers in fog, but I guess not. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. I'm sure there's some more information on this incident, as it would have been a more recent one here. Sometimes it's harder, especially in the 1800s and early 1900s, to get more verifiable information into deeper details on ship collisions. But this one, I'm sure there has to be more. But yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comment section down below. I hope this short video brings, again, these crew members some honor and respect to their lives, and may they never be forgotten. But yeah, thank you guys so very much again for joining me today on this episode. I so much appreciate your support, and wow, we have reached 2,000 subscribers. Thank you all so very much for that. It means so much to me and my family, and we thank you for it. This channel wouldn't be here if it weren't for your support, and for you guys being interested in these topics and in these all these different stories and stuff on the Great Lakes. I really appreciate it. So, but yeah, check out the merchandise website if you guys are interested in any of the new stuff we've released there. And again, I'm so thankful for your support, and I hope we can keep this going for a good long while. But with that being said, I will bring this episode to a close, and as always, God bless you all, and thank you again for joining me today on Songs of the Great Lakes. Do keep your eyes and ears open for the next episode soon. Thank you all.